Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. Before we get started, I just want to do a bit of shameless self-promotion. You're going to want to clear a slot in your calendar for Thursday's World of Tanks video. It is 100% both at the same time the best and worst thing that I have seen this year. And that's coming from somebody who had bowel cancer this year, so trust me, it's going to be good. Thursday, World of Tanks. Mark your diary now. Anyway, on with today's World of Warships video. This is Chase WA in the USS Wisconsin, the big whiskey. It does of course have a funny button, the immediate systems reload, which once you've charged it up, amongst other things, reduces the reload by 50%. The 16-inch guns have a base reload of 30 seconds, so fairly standard for 16-inch guns. And one of the reasons why we're featuring Chase in the Wisconsin today is because I recently did a World of Warships video starring the Jaeger that scored a ridiculous number of torpedo hits, and there was a Wisconsin on the enemy team, and one of the Jaeger's division was giving the Wisconsin player some crap in chat for playing an overpowered ship. And I have to admit, because I don't really keep up with player opinion in World of Warships, I was a little surprised I didn't realise the Wisconsin was considered overpowered. Because on the face of things, I mean, okay, aside from the funny button, the Wisconsin is basically an Iowa, except it's an Iowa at tier 10. And nobody accuses the tier 9 Iowa of being an overpowered ship. In fact, often quite the opposite. It's actually considered fairly weak. So is the funny button alone responsible for the player opinion that this ship is a little bit overpowered? Well, no. I mean, yeah, sure, it's a useful gimmick, but there are other ships that get reload boosters, and they don't have to charge it up. They're simply on cooldown. French battleships, for example, get main battery reload boosters, and nobody complains about the French battleships being overpowered. I mean, they're good ships, but they're not OP. In fact, I'd argue that the French main gun battery reload booster is even better than the Wisconsin's gimmick, because it's available anytime the cooldown is up. You don't have to charge it up. It doesn't decay the way this thing does if you're not constantly landing hits on target. And yet I went and googled it. I looked on Reddit, and yep, sure enough, people do think that the Wisconsin is just a teeny weeny little bit OP. But it's not because of the funny button. And it wasn't until I actually watched this replay that I kind of got it. Note that Chase here is waiting until that Montana has committed, so he can't turn away because he's entering the atoll here. He can't turn to starboard now because there's an island in the way before he unloads. 9 guns, 9 shots. 7 hits. Okay, it's only 6,750 damage because of the 7 hits, 5 were overpens. But it's still 7 hits, and I think that's what's important here. I mean, you know, the Montana isn't exactly making things difficult for him here. He's giving him as good a target as you can possibly get. 9 more shots. Look at the dispersion. And another 7 hits. Again, the damage wasn't great, only 2 of them were actual penetrations. But it's another 7 hits. That's a 77, nearly a 78% hit rate in a battleship. A battleship that isn't the Slava. I think I'm starting to see the problem here. There's another 9 shots out. How many of these are going to hit? That's another 7 hits. Yeah. I'm starting to understand why people think the Wisconsin is just that little bit overpowered. I mean, sure, he hasn't done a huge amount of damage with the 21 hits that he's already scored out of his first 3 salvos, because RNGesus giveth and RNGesus taketh away, but the point is he's hitting the target. And the funny button charges up based on the number of hits that you score. 6% per hit. It doesn't care about how much damage you're doing. And let's not forget, these are 16-inch super heavy armor-piercing shells, so the fact that he has only done 42,000 damage so far out of all the hits that he scored is kind of disappointing. Oh, he's going to take one torpedo. Oh, caused a flood. Oh well, there goes the damage control. But yeah, 50,000 damage out of 29 hits is on the low side for 16-inch super heavyweight AP, but eventually RNGesus is going to start giving instead of taking away. And these numbers are really going to start to add up, because this ship just doesn't miss. And the numbers are going to need to start adding up real soon. He actually missed. Well, isn't that just typical? Second I opened my big mouth, praising the accuracy of the Wisconsin's guns, and he completely fluffs his next salvo. Or possibly the enemy just dodged. Yeah, we'll go ahead and say that's what happened. However, yeah, he is going to need to start scoring, well, not just hits, but doing big damage, because the team have suffered 3 casualties, they have no cap circles, and they are 300 points behind. There are only 9 players per team, by the way, which, if you hadn't already figured out, means he's playing on the North American server. It is the least populated World of Warships server, and yet at the same time, the most profitable for wargaming. Lots of whales on the North American server. The Halland that he's divisioned up with is furiously prosecuting that submarine contact. Hopefully he should keep it submerged and out of the fight for a while. Chase opening up once again on the... Oh, there it is, double citadel. It was only a matter of time. I mean, you know, 16-inch super heavy American armor piercing shells. These things hit like trucks. You just have to hit the right spot. But given the accuracy of these guns, that's not too difficult, is it? I mean, aside from that double citadel on the Montana, he's at 87,500 damage, and that's from 34, 35. Actually, no, it's more than 35, because the citadels are counted separately, aren't they? Let's just take a quick look and check. I'm fairly sure that's true. We can just mouse over the number of hits and see exactly what's included. Here we go. Yep, those are 35 target hits. They don't include the 2 citadels. So 37 hits so far. And only 87,000 damage. I mean, that's low for a battleship armed with 16-inch guns. He's been really, really unlucky. Despite the accuracy and the number of shots on target, a lot of them have either been ricochets or overpens. Because, of course, a ricochet is counted as a hit. Because, you know, you hit the target, you just didn't damage it. Let's see what kind of luck he has against the Ipiranga. Again, 9 shots out. How many of these do you think are going to hit? Because they're looking pretty good, I have to say. And, oh, there's another citadel. Including the citadel, that's 6 out of 9 shots on target. So that's only a 66% hit rate. I've played battleships, and I'm not just talking about the Gneisenau here, that would kill for a 66% hit rate. Oh, and the team have just suffered another casualty. They have managed to take a capture. Oh, and another casualty. They're now 550 points and 5 kills behind. There's only 4 of them left alive. I mean, you know, North American server, only 9 players per team to begin with. They've lost more than half of the team, and they have yet to score a single kill. This really could have been an episode of a Game of Thrones. In fact, you can go ahead and just pretend that it is, but I really wanted to focus on the big WhisKy here. And okay, there we go. Finally, somebody actually scored a kill. The friendly I-56 took out one of the Ipirangas. So the team are now only 500 points behind. Oh, and they no longer have a cap circle. Alpha is now being contested by the Carl Johan over there. So shots out with the rear turret only. Front turret for the Montana. And there's a citadel on the Carl Johan. In fact, all 3 shots from the rear turret hit. That's a citadel and 3 penetrations. And then a whole bunch of penetrations on the Montana as well. This is probably the part in the battle where the Doom music starts playing. He's up to 140,000 damage. Yeah. Halland torpedoes, fairly obvious. He's going to take 1, but Halland torpedoes, they don't do a huge amount of damage. He's going for the Montana's gun turrets. Because, you know, oh, there's the funny button. It's active, and the Montana commits the cardinal error of swinging his arse around and showing broadside just in order to get those rear turrets firing. Do Do you think it's worth it? I don't think so. The Halland has taken out the Carl Johan. Chase in the Wisconsin finishes off the Montana. There's still an enemy submarine over there. He's sailing into an awful lot of fire here. I think, oh, the Eaton has to be next. Is it? Yes. Broadside. Come on, baby. He scored depth charge hits on the submarine as well. He's got a double fire, though. He's very little health. Amazingly, that was not a kill on the Eaton, but there are some shots coming in from a teammate, which should finish him. Yep, the Eaton's down. Taken out by his division mate in the Plymouth. He's got a double fire. He's down to 8,000 health. His heel has just come back off cooldown. He's also inside secondary gun battery range of the Iparanga over there. Now is definitely the time to chill the hell out. Get yourself into cover behind the island. Let the fires go out. Get some health back. Remember that the Halland is going to be coming around there and gunning for you. And yep, he's turning away. He knows what's about to happen. He's got some shots at the Napoli, though. Is he going to be able to get him before the rest of the team do? I'm fairly sure the Napoli's going to go down before he gets the guns on target. Yep, the Napoli's gone down. Taken out by the friendly Halland, and there's the enemy Halland. But Chase knew that was coming. He's already turned away. Secondary's focused. Oh, he's just been pinged by the surviving enemy submarine. There it is. Gets the depth charges off. There's the Halland's torpedoes, but he'd already outmaneuvered those, and there's a sandbar over here on the perimeter of the atoll he can use to protect him from any further Halland torpedoes, because that thing does have very, very fast reloading. Oh, main battery reload time reduced. So he's using Bull Halsey as his captain here. With a big hit on the Halland, and successfully avoided those torpedoes. There's another sonar ping coming in. That Halland just doesn't know when to stop, does he?
The ship is on fire.
Well, I mean, he's got a target on low health and on fire, but you know how accurate these guns are, right? Oh! I mean, it's not like he can smoke up. He's a Halland. He doesn't have a smoke screen, but you can stop shooting. You got less than 1,000 health, and there's a Wisconsin shooting at you. You could maybe move rather than slowly sailing backwards, making it as easy as possible for the battleship to smack your ass with another one of these 16-inch shells. But hey, you know, whatever. They're still losing, by the way, even though they're now 1 kill ahead. The enemy team still have a 150-point lead. Although that's about to change. Man, the Iparanga just got smacked in at the middle of next week. Depth charges out. Aiming for the oil slick. It's just the submarine left. Have you noticed how the only ones left alive on Chase's team are his division? Him, the Plymouth, the Halland. Yeah, funny old thing that, isn't it? The funny button's ready to go again, by the way. It's not just that these guns are as accurate as they are. I mean, this would be a great ship if it was just that. But they charge that funny button up so fast because they just score so many hits that it's basically almost never on cooldown. I really think I can see why people think this ship is just a little bit broken. Because, I mean, on the face of it, you can understand my confusion when I first heard people complain that this ship was overpowered, because it is just an Iowa, except up-tiered at tier 10. It's not just an Iowa, though, is it? I mean, the Iowa doesn't have bad guns, but the Iowa wishes it had guns as good as the Wisconsin. More depth charges out. They are still technically losing, by the way. That enemy submarine is still ahead on points. I mean, he's not going to win, but it's an indication of just how incredibly far behind Chase's team were, that the last vessel on the enemy team is not only still ahead on points, but even after he's died and there are no ships left on the enemy team, he's still ahead on points. What a carry, and what a ship! Yeah, I think I get it now. I think I can see why everybody was complaining about the big WhisKy. Look at that. General offensive, brothers in arms. That's everybody in the division got at least 2 kills. Confederate, strike team, another division award. These three guys between them did at least 50% of the entire enemy team's hit point totals, devastating strike, fireproof, dreadnought, coordinated attack, which is like the division version of the Kraken Unleashed, and of course, with 253,000 damage done, high caliber. Probably shouldn't come as any great surprise to see that all three of them are top 3 on the leaderboard, although the friendly I-56 very, very nearly took 3rd place there. He was the one who opened up the kills for the team. I'm curious though, 81 hits from 150 shots fired. Now that's only a 54% hit rate, which is still good for a battleship, but it's not amazing. The thing you have to take into consideration though is that of the 3 kills that he scored, the game stops counting hits once the target's dead. So if he took out, for example, the Iparanga with the Citadel, with the first shot that landed, the other 8 shots don't get counted into the hit totals. So I think that the actual percentage of shots on target of this ship is probably more in the 60 to 70% range, which is just terrifyingly good. I can see why people think this ship is more than just a little bit broken. But whichever way you look at it, that was one hell of a comeback. I mean, talk about snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. At one point, there were 5 kills. There were only 9 of them on each team to begin with. They were 5 kills down, 550 points behind, and they didn't have control of a single cap circle. Even by the end of the battle, they were still behind on points. Which is an indication of just how deep in the shit they were before these 3 guys dug deep and pulled it all back. So congratulations for an extremely well-deserved win. Hope you all enjoyed it, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.